It's time for a midweek mini. We are Wonderland on Points, presented by Yahoo Travel. And today we are giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly for the new Chase Sapphire Preferred. The changes, what you need to know. This is a card that most people in the travel points and miles world have had at some point, still have, because it's always been touted as one of the best travel credit cards. And so this affects a lot of people. So we're going to get into all of the changes. It wasn't just one or two changes. There's a lot of changes here. So the good, the bad, and the ugly, Joe.
Yeah, maybe we should start with the good because I know we both have some spicy takes about this entire thing and more than just the card itself and the Hyatt changes. We've got some thoughts to share, and we are allowed to share those because we're not affiliates, you guys.
That's right. Chase. I said the name. We can tell you the truth because we have the freedom of speech to do so.
That is correct.
Let's get into the good things. There are
Yes.
some good things about these changes, and we want to be honest about that.
Yes.
My husband has a Chase Sapphire Preferred card, so in our family we have one. I just have the Chase Sapphire Reserve. He has the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So this does affect us and affects a lot of people. So let's talk about some good things. All right. What are the earning categories that you think are some really good updates, Joe?
Yes. So what I am loving from this card right now, 3 times on gas or EV charging, which, doesn't affect me, but many people do have their Teslas nowadays.
Yep.
And 3 times points on vacation homes, including Airbnb and Vrbo and more. These are good. You guys,
Yeah, that's good.
this is really great. Now, granted, we have lots of strategy for like gift card buying to get our Airbnbs and stuff like that. But for the people who just want simple strategy for accumulating with their regular spending, this is fantastic. It will give you a way to be really pumping up your Chase Point balances. We're all spending so much on gas right now.
Yeah, we are. And keep in mind that it still has the other categories that we really liked about the Chase Sapphire Preferred, like 3x points on dining worldwide, 3x points on a lot of streaming services, 5 times the points on Lyft rides through September 30th, 2027. So we'll see what happens after that. But so there are other categories here. That's not even all of them. That's a summary. But a lot of the others are staying the same. The new ones to focus on is that vacation homes category, which is awesome. And then the 3X on gas.
Yeah. I mean, those really are fantastic. The other things that they are updating are the Chase Travel Hotel Credit. This one I think is great because that hotel credit is not easy for people to use. I historically have used it to where I did a points plus cash combo where I would pay $51 in cash to make sure I triggered that credit and then paid the rest on points with a booking through Chase Travel. They have now bumped that up to $100 credit, which I think is a lot more usable for people, and it doesn't have to be a 2-night minimum like a lot of these credits we're seeing out here, and your annual fee is only $95.
Yeah.
So if you can use that right away, it really pays for itself. I am not fully sold, no matter how salty I am, at the idea of ditching this card. I'm actually more interested in a strategy where household members kind of team up. One has the preferred, one has the reserve, and you share points through your household connection to make sure that you're getting the full value for your points upon transfer. And if you don't know why that matters, we are going to dig into that because that's one of the changes we're not so thrilled about. But take us through a couple other things that are updated and or new on this card.
Yeah. Before we do, just on that hotel credit, I will say, before when it was $50 and the annual fee was $95, this was honestly the one card in my portfolio. I have a lot of credit cards. This was the one card that I never got necessarily my annual fee back on in terms of using the benefits because a lot of times I just never even used that $50 travel credit because I'm staying on points at other hotels and it just didn't make sense. It doesn't cover the cost of a full hotel stay. And I never wanted to pay the other part in cash. But now that it's $100, well, could find a reasonable hotel for close to $100 a night. And I think it is much more likely that I will actually use that
Yes.
benefit and maybe actually cover that annual fee with some benefits. So
Yes.
I am very excited about that. I think that's a big deal, and I'm very thankful that they did that. I'll give them credit for that one. So some of the other updated things. Chase cards these travel credit cards have some of the best travel protections of all the cards in the market, and they just made the Chase Sapphire Preferred even better in terms of that coverage.
Mhm.
They added the emergency evacuation and transportation coverage to the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So we just had an episode recently all about how important that coverage was for our guest, Miss Carol, who had a horrible experience in Mexico, had to be life flighted basically out of Mexico on an emergency plane trip back to the US, and that was covered by her Chase Sapphire Reserve. Well, now that great emergency evacuation coverage is going to come to the Preferred. So that is a very big deal.
Yeah, it is huge. It's huge for a card with an annual fee that's that low to have great medical coverages is amazing. $100,000 is still potentially not enough. You might like to look at additional trip protection coverage on top of that, but that is a nice addition. Another thing that I like that they've added to this is the $120 global entry TSA PreCheck or Nexus credit. I now have enough cards with this credit that I can get it for my entire family, which is my plan. I'm not going to let these go to waste. I'm going to get one for my daughter. I'm going to get it for my husband with the credits on my various cards, and I already have it for myself. That's another really nice way to offset the annual fee. I mean, you can only use it once every 4 years. So once you use it, it doesn't keep offsetting your annual fee every other year. But like you mentioned, if you're using that hotel credit, then that's helping. They've also added a complimentary Apple TV subscription for 1 year, which I believe the Reserve came with also. So that's kind of a double up if you have both of those cards. That doesn't really help us at all.
Another thing to note, if you don't have maybe any of these cards, the Chase Sapphire Preferred has complimentary Dash Pass membership. And this is a big deal, plus up to $10 off a month on a grocery order, a non-restaurant order. But the membership gets you 10% off of gift cards through DoorDash. And it's not every gift card, but there's a collection of gift cards, and that comes in very handy because if you buy those gift cards 10% off using this card, you can still earn a good multiplier on that. And actually, that Dash Pass membership is a lot more valuable than I once thought because I buy gas gift cards at Sheetz, the local gas station for me, through Dash Pass, and I get 10% off my gas and a really good multiplier on it. Of course, now this has a 3x multiplier on gas, but don't overlook that Dash Pass membership.
Yes, for sure. Okay, I think it's time to get into the negative things. We've got some feelings. The first little one that I'll mention is that the 10% anniversary bonus benefit is being discontinued. So you got 10% back of whatever points you accumulated throughout the year on your Chase Sapphire Preferred card. I'm not sure that was massive for the majority of us who are more chasing sign-up bonuses than putting a lot of spend on one card, but it is rude. So I don't like that at all. So it's being discontinued effective immediately for card members who are applying now. But for card members who applied and had the card prior to June 15th, eligible purchases made through October 1st will earn that 10% bonus. It will be awarded by January 31st. And then after that, it is discontinued. Mary Ellen, why don't you tell us what else they're changing for the negative and how you feel about it?
So this is the saddest of the sad, which maybe if you're on the internet in the Points and Miles community, you've already seen the Hyatt transfer is changing from 1-to-1 to 4-to-3 if you are transferring from your Chase Sapphire Preferred card to Hyatt. If you have a reserve and you send your points from your Chase Sapphire Reserve, it's still going to be 1-to-1, no change for you. But specifically for the Chase Sapphire Preferred members, it's going from 4 to 3. And that is beyond frustrating. I'd be interested to know the percentage. Somebody who works in Chase would have to tell us the percentage of Chase points that get sent to Hyatt versus any other partner. They have other partners that are great. You can send their points to a variety of partners, still at a 1-to-1 ratio. But they know that the bulk of Chase points people send to Hyatt, because anybody who knows how to use points and miles knows that Hyatt has the best redemptions.
Right.
And so they decided to hit us where it hurts the most, and that is Hyatt. And I have a lot of theories for why they did this. One of which I'll say, I don't know. This is all anecdotal, but I know that allegedly, the Chase Sapphire Reserve rollout last year, when they increased the annual fee and kind of revamped it, it didn't go real well for them.
Nope.
People didn't take to it. I think it very much underperformed what they hoped for, their expectations. I think that's one reason that this year, in 2026, they added that select hotels credit for this year. I think that's why they had the biggest sign-up bonus ever, welcome offer ever, this spring for the Chase Sapphire Reserve, because people weren't adopting it. People weren't doing it. And then the people that were, I think, were only doing it for 1 year with the thought that they would go back down maybe to the Chase Sapphire Preferred after that. And so this is maybe their way of pushing more people to the Chase Sapphire Reserve, because they know we want that 1-to-1 ratio for Hyatt. They know that we want that. And so by doing this, it kind of forces people's hand a little bit to get that Chase Sapphire Reserve. People who don't want to pay that big annual fee, who really didn't want that commitment. I mean, I hate to use the term bully, but I feel a little bullied into keeping the Chase Sapphire Reserve now so that I can get the good Hyatt ratio.
Yeah. I mean, we all had plans. We've been talking about it. Keep this for 1 year, really max out those annual fees, then downgrade. And I just think it is so unbelievably slimy of them. And the timing, right before the offer goes away on the Chase Sapphire Reserve, people find out their beloved points are being devalued. And 4-to-3 might not sound, horrible. But when you think of it in terms of like, oh,
25%.
I'm sending 100,000 points over and it's turning into 75 when we already had a devaluation. So it's already more expensive to book a lot of our favorite Hyatt hotels. I think it's just gross. And what I also kind of think is gross, and this might be a hot take. I'm not talking about anybody personally. We love so many creators who are affiliates, but I have seen too many posts that, first of all, came out at whatever time on the dot of the announcement, because they are given all of this information ahead of time, and they're given an opportunity to really craft what they want to say. And what they want to say is, guys, this is so sad, but you know what? You can still take advantage of this Chase Sapphire Reserve because it's still elevated. And then they get big old chunks of money for every single one of your signups. And it just feels a little bit like the entire system is set up to profit and not benefit people. And one of the things we love about not being affiliates is that we just want to be honest with you guys and give you strategies that are actually helpful. And the reality is that $800 is not doable for a lot of people. Even if they can offset it, it is not going to work for people's budgets. And I liked being able to tell people, you know what, the Preferred is amazing. You can get this card. You can take advantage of this fantastic opportunity to transfer to Hyatt. It will get your family a lot of places. And now I don't even want to send people that direction anymore because I'm just irritated at them taking a shot at people who can't afford these lower tier cards.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that there's so many people, and we're a budget travel podcast, right?
Yes.
We are not people with just tons of excess amounts of money, and we justify these annual fees. We make sure we're very diligent about using the credits to offset them, but you're right. I don't like preying on people who don't want to make that big leap up to the higher annual fee card, it just really stinks. It stinks the timing of it. It stinks that it's like they know where to hurt you, when kids
Yes.
and bullies know exactly where to hurt you the most. And they're like, ooh, we're going to give you these other things, but we know really this is what's going to hurt the most.
Yeah, I don't like it. It feels a little bit wrong. It feels a little bit emotionally manipulative. The timing certainly feels manipulative. And so, guys, this is one reason why we really appreciate it when you use our partner links and buy things through the links. We monetize our podcast in other ways because we are not making commissions off of card applications the way a lot of the big creators do. But that allows us to bring you truly original hot takes, not takes that are scripted by a bank. And so we hope that you appreciate that. And when you support us through our other endeavors and partnerships, it really, really matters to us. It really helps. And it means we can keep doing things this way, which is fantastic. So I have to say that I might be sending people towards Built as like a solo card strategy for just racking up 3 times on everything and getting a 1-to-1 Hyatt transfer and also being able to use Rakuten in combination with that. Like that might be the go-to strategy now. At least you're saving like $300 on an annual fee if you go for the Palladium.
Yeah, I heard you mention this, and I had some DMs about it too of other people who agreed and were like, you know what? Kind of makes me want to lean more into Built because
Yep.
Chase is not the only one with a Hyatt transfer anymore. They
Nope.
were for a long time. They're not anymore. So there is another option out there.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, still, like we said, the hotel credit alone is more than the annual fee.
Yes.
So the Chase Sapphire Preferred is not a bad card. It's actually a great card in terms, again, of that medical evacuation coverage. So if you want to pay for a portion of whatever trip you're going on with that card, it gets you some really good protections there. So we don't want to just poo-poo that card. We still have the card, right?
Yeah.
My husband still has it.
I still have
I
mine.
have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and I don't plan on not having it anytime soon. We do love the Chase ecosystem. We love their partners. It's just disappointing. It's just sad and disappointing is what it is. And
Yeah.
we feel for the people who, and we understand the reasoning why you wouldn't want that big annual fee Chase Sapphire Reserve card. And so it just stinks. And we
It
just want you
does.
to know that we see you if this
We
is
do.
hurting you and impacting you. We're really
Sorry.
sad
We
for you
stand with
too.
you.
We feel that.
Yeah, and if you already have this card and you're sitting on some points, I would consider moving them to Hyatt if that is what you think those are earmarked for before October. That's what I would
Yes.
do. Now, you don't have to do it right now, right away. You have time to think about this. But if you have a bunch of points, I would get them out of there if you know that those are going to be Hyatt points for you. And like I said, the other strategy is for one person in the household to have the reserve and one person in the household to have the preferred. You can maximize those categories, the 3x on gas, the 3x on Airbnb, those kinds of things. And you can put that as your gas card and then be moving those points that you earn to your partner's Chase Sapphire Reserve account before they go out in the world to Hyatt. And that's a way to bypass this and to have just one of those cards in the household. But we, again, understand that annual fee is not for everybody. And so there's not a lot of strategy to be had in order to keep those points from diluting other than that. And what you previously you could also have the Inc. Business Preferred card. That is also being diluted to a 4-to-3 transfer ratio. So even that is no longer a strategy for keeping this pathway open and at the 1-to-1 value. So we tried to do a little bit of a sandwich here. We tried to do something slightly positive on both sides, but truly we don't feel super positive about a lot of the things that they're trying to do here right now. So you guys get our real and honest opinions.
All right, we hope that you guys will stick with us, join us every Monday and Wednesday for new episodes of Wonderland on Points presented by Yahoo Travel. If you haven't, please sign up for our Yahoo Travel newsletter. It's called Why Wonder. Free to sign up. It's Joe and I writing it. Comes out twice a week. We have that link in our show notes. Please sign up for Why Wonder. That would mean a lot to us. We're having fun with that. And we will see you here next time.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. We hope you learned something new and feel inspired to plan your next trip.
Remember, we're travelers sharing our experiences, not financial advisors. So always do your own research and make informed decisions.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow so you never miss a Points and Miles tip.
We'll see you next time on Wonderland on Points.